Hey everybody, welcome back to Jim Bob's Garden. So today what we're going to talk about is seeds. Here I've got laid out a whole bunch of seeds. The different seeds that I've gotten over the year and have basically not yet planted. For one reason or another, either I had too many seeds and I didn't have enough space, or just never quite got around to planting them. So I want to show you a couple of things here. Okay, so this is my load of seeds. All of these have either been purchased this year or last, for the most part. And as you can see, for whatever reason, I have quite the load of various seeds. This represents somewhere around $50 or so. I want to show you a couple of things. One, this is my guide, the Northeast Florida planting calendar. And it tells you what to plant in what month. Now this comes, like I said, from the, well, I guess I didn't say, but this actually comes from the University of Florida, from their website, and talks about what's best to plant when. Now keep in mind, this is primarily guided around the idea of commercial gardening, I do believe. But you can see that in August, I think you'll be able to see that, it talks about bush beans, pole beans, corn, cucumbers, black-eyed peas, peppers, pumpkin, summer squash, winter squash, tomatoes, broccoli, collards, onions, and bunching onions rather, and then turnips is what it shows for August. And I believe today is like the 13th or 14th of August. Another thing I wanted to show you is this little whammy jammy right here. This is a pretty neat little device that actually was a hardware gift kind of thing. And what's cool is you can pop the top and then lift these off, and then inside I have various different seeds that I've collected from my excuse me, my garden, and that's how I'm storing them right now. They work really good with the larger seeds, but the smaller seeds tend to blend over. So if you're going to use something like this, I highly recommend you try and keep it level, because as soon as you start to twist it, it actually starts to bleed over into the other seeds. So why am I showing you this? Alright, so why am I showing you my seeds? Well, the biggest reason that I'm showing you the seeds is that a lot of these seeds were bought in previous years. These radishes, for example, sell by 2020, so those are new radish seeds. But something like the spinach was sold by 2019. Alright, so these are last year's seeds. Some of them even go back to 2018. Now, does that mean they're bad? No, seeds can be stored for several years if they're kept in a cool, dry place. And that's what this bag represents. I keep them in a paper bag, and then I have a cabinet inside the house where the air conditioning is going to keep them cool and dry and dark. So that's one thing. Another storage option that I have, this is where I store my seeds. Now my seeds, I really want to try and get to where I have as many of my seeds as possible. And the reason behind that is that I want seeds that I take from the best and strongest, healthiest plants. And then if I keep those, then what will happen is those plants will beget hopefully more healthy and strong plants. And as time goes on, the idea is that these seeds will become more adapted to create plants that are good for my environment here, my conditions, my growing conditions essentially. The soil, the weather, the amount of moisture, all the different things that are very different from yard to yard, from neighborhood to neighborhood, and from state to state. So if I can get more adapted varieties, then I'll probably be a lot more successful here in the garden. So that's what I do with my seeds. I keep them stored, like I said, in a paper bag inside the house so that they stay dry. It's also kind of an experiment to see how well will these germinate after being stored for a year or better, which I should be fine. In most cases you'll find that seeds can be stored for 2 to 3 years or even longer. I mean, some seeds that you have grow up as weeds could have been in your garden for 10, 15, 20 years in the right conditions. So that's one of the problems with digging up your soil, is you expose old weed seed that's been floating there for a very long time. So along with that, I'm going to start trying to plant the things that should be planted here in August. One of the issues I've had in the past is I run out of things to mulch with. Because I don't go outside and buy things for mulching, I'm limited to the grass that I can collect, and then the grass, while it is fairly plentiful because I have a large lawn, the issue becomes, do I use it for compost or do I use it for mulch? And I try and do a little bit of both, but I tend to use up more. That's why I mow other people's yards, so I can collect the grass. I even mow some common areas here in the association so that I can collect the grass clippings for compost and mulch. But that being said, the better way of protecting your dirt is to keep something growing in it. And I do have some areas that I had planted and did not grow up as well as I wanted. So I'm going to plant some more in there, and then I've got other areas that are just have been cleared out essentially. So I'm going to try this year to do a better job of planting a fall and winter garden. Here in Florida, we don't really get our first freeze until December. Even if it's in December, oftentimes it's January, February time frame. So that gives me, the rest of August, September, October, November, December, and maybe even part of January. So it could be as long as 5 months. You're talking 120 to 150 days yet until I start looking at frost, if we get one at all. Like last year, we didn't get one. So the goal is now going to be try and fill my dirt with things that are growing, and to try and cover the dirt in that manner, as well as some small amount of mulch that I will hopefully plant or put down once the seedlings start to come up. And then the other thing I want to do is I want to do a better job this year of succession planting. And succession planting I've talked about in other videos, but essentially it is planting the seed now, and then planting some more seed here in 2 weeks, and then planting 2 weeks after that some more seed of various different items, various different crops, so that you get a ongoing harvest available as these all come to maturity. So that's my goal. That's what I'm going to start doing today. And this is my seed stash so far. Alright, so thanks once again for stopping by. Like, subscribe, and if you have storage ideas like this, or even something completely different, I would be very interested in seeing how do you go about storing your seeds. Do you put them in the envelopes? Do you put them in some kind of a plastic container? How do you go about storing? So if you've got something interesting, please let me know. Give me some feedback and let me know how you go about storing your seeds. Alright, thanks once again. Like, subscribe, and all that good stuff, and y'all have a great day and grow some.